Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. The RTGAC is back, and today we are here 7 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. Busy schedules during the summer. I know Cole's having a very fun time at bio right now at the prep, and he's working through that. And speaking of working, I am working myself, loving what we are doing right now, and my thing just restarted on me, so I'm gonna have to redo my whole intro. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. The RTGAC is back, and today we are coming to you live on this Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. The schedules have prevented us from doing anything at an earlier time. Cole has bio. I know he's at the prep. I know he's enjoying that. And I am working at a day job currently. I don't really have much to say, so I think it's been a good week so far. We have a lot to talk about today on the podcast. And Cole, say what's up to the people.
How's it going, everybody? Like Ryan said, not really much to talk about in my life. It's been pretty somewhat stable for, it's been a while since it's been stable. I'll just say that. But, yeah, I'm ready. We got a lot to get into, as Ryan said, and, I'm excited.
I don't know. I feel like there's just not much going on. It's almost July, for God's sakes. We just snapped and it's almost July. It's crazy. Officially a month away from my birthday. That's insane as well. It's 28 days until yours? I mean, this is absolutely nuts. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, to run down this edition of the CR7 podcast, we're doing our weekly Phillies recap. And then we will have some UFC Fight Night reactions. Bobby Knuckles getting the knockout against Ikram last Saturday. And so we have some UFC 303 predictions heading into this Saturday's card. And then in the NFL, Mike McCarthy is apparently fed up with Jerry Jones. We'll be talking about him and the Dallas Cowboys. In the MLB, Cole will be talking about his 3 deadline deals that need to happen. Interested to hear about that one. Moving into the NBA, we will talk about the Philadelphia 76ers and how they could potentially look next season. NBA free agency is coming very, very soon. And then Cole will have his NBA mock draft, his first 10 picks, and then he will also talk about the 76ers pick at pick number 16, I believe. And then we will have some Ryan's rants. Cole, since the last time we have talked, the Phillies have gone 4-2. Talk about this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest. I mean, you go to the San Diego series, you're expecting to sweep them that final day. It is what it is. They're an okay team. They're the only team who's really a threat in the NL besides the Dodgers and the Braves. I mean, you get to obviously throw the Braves in there. But then you go into this Arizona series, you're confident. Jordan Montgomery has not pitched well this year. You go into that series very confident you can take game 1, and guess what happens? Taijuan Walker happens. I'm sick of the leash that he's been on. You got to eat the salary at this point and put Spencer Turnbull in. I understand, we've been experimenting with this Taijuan Walker thing for way too long. It's Spencer Turnbull who needs to be in, the 5th starting spot. Maybe you could work Walker out of the bullpen. I don't know. At this point, just eat the salary. Because I'm sick and tired of watching him just be not great out on the mound. And then, moving on throughout this Arizona series, we did everything right in the second game of that series. Offensively, defensively, Wheeler was incredible. Besides that one run that the Diamondbacks scored off of him, it was pretty solid. I really don't have much left on this Diamondback series. Sanchez, he's been a little rocky in his last couple starts, except for the one against San Diego. He comes in, he does his business, completely shuts down the Arizona Diamondback offense. I think our pitching over these last 3 games has been stellar. I think our defense has been stellar. You watch the triple play. Great heads-up play by Nola. It's just been fun to watch. It's been baseball that has been fun to watch. I'm really enjoying the way that they're playing, and I'm really excited to see tonight's game Suarez versus Screwball. These are the two NL Cy Young candidates, and we're going to see them go head-to-head. This should be one of the best pitching duels we're going to see this season.
No.
And then that Detroit game, Harper and Bohm were just lighting it up. It was just fun to watch. That's all I got. But I do need to say we do need to sweep the Marlins because the Marlins apparently own us every year, just for no reason whatsoever. Anyways, I'll turn it over to you, Ryan.
First thing, James Hansen, stop lurking on my YouTube channel. Get out of my chat. Second thing, that current Phillies game is happening right now. They are at the going into the top of the third. It is tied 0-0 at the moment. But talking about this Padres series, we covered the first game on last Tuesday. They were able to pick up that easy win, 9-2. And then you go into Tuesday, you eke out a win there. I thought you did a very good job. Whatchamacallit was pitching. Suarez, he did let up 2 runs. Not the or whatchamacallit. I'm sorry, Hoffman got no, I'm thinking of somebody. I'm thinking of the who pitched. I'm thinking of a different game.
All I know is Kerwin got the loss.
Who pitched in this game? Nola pitched. Sorry, he gave up 3 runs. Very un-Nola-like this season. Kirking, Strom. I know Hoffman got the win. So the bullpen was able to come in there and finish something you haven't seen. So that is something to look up for in going into the later stages of the season, because the bullpen not always the greatest in the world. But you finish out that Padres series. You don't get the last game. It's okay. You take the series. As long as you take the series, in my opinion, with the way the Phillies are looking and the way the NL is staged. We talked about Mookie Betts' injury last week and how much that could affect the Los Angeles Dodgers, and how the Phillies will most likely, stay at that 1 seed. Not really any other contenders. As Cole mentioned, the Padres, you could definitely throw in there. So, that is something to look forward to. Going into the rest of the season. Then you move over into the Diamondback series, and you see that they lose that very first game. You win 4-3 on Tuesday against the San Diego Padres. Then you lose 5-4 on Friday. It is what it is. You win some of those games, you lose some of those games. I'm not gonna take that one so seriously. And then you win 12-1. Not really much happening there. It was just complete dominance off the bats from the Philadelphia Phillies. I believe Wheeler pitched that night. Cole, don't fact check me because I believe I am correct on that one. Yes, I am. He went a full 7 innings, only gave up 1 run, the only run of the game. So not really much going on there. Just in complete dominance. Then you go on to that Sunday game. They win 4-1. Christopher Sanchez, an absolute gem. Cole mentioned that he has had a few rocky starts, but played absolutely incredible. A little scary there in the 9th inning, but they were able to pull it off. Christopher Sanchez, he just got that contract. I believe it was the right move to make sure he was extended. And he was throwing, I don't know if that's, Cole, you know this better than I do, but he throws that slider, curveball, something. It just gets them every single time.
Well, yeah, his changeup this year has developed so well, and I think that's what's separated him, because last year he didn't have that put-out pitch, and this year he obviously does, and he's commanding it very well, and it's obviously working for him. He's getting a lot of swing and misses on 2 straight counts.
Right, and then as you mentioned yesterday, they just completely dominated 8-1 against the Tigers, and they're currently have a man on with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd against the Tigers in the second game of their 3-game series. I do want to bring up, everything has been pretty much going well. Harper, Bohm still playing very, very well. Harper leading all first basemen in the NL in voting for the All-Star game. He is one of the best players in baseball. I believe 2nd in the MVP rankings, just behind Shohei Ohtani. I was a little disappointed this week with Kyle Schwarber in these past 2 games. The game on Monday and Sunday, he went 0 for 5 in both performances, something you really don't want to see. A pretty down week for him. I do have confidence, though, that he will pick it up. He got a walk already in the game right now, so hopefully he will continue to be, to have this season. He's been
Well,
having.
it's not like he hasn't been getting on though, because I mean we saw in the Detroit game the other day he had a walk and he reached on an error, which is surprising. But I mean that's what you got to do to win baseball games. I mean, he's just a great player all around. I feel like he's great. Just have around the clubhouse. Especially June. He hasn't played up to the expectation that he usually does, which is fine because I mean we're winning more games.
I feel like he was better in the beginning of June, like more like mid-June than
because those first couple days he wasn't hitting well,
right.
And then he had 4 home runs in a bunch in like a couple games span, so it was just awesome to watch.
I will ask you a question before we do move on here. You mentioned stuff about Turnbull and Taijuan Walker. While I do believe that the Phillies should move him into the bullpen, move Spencer Turnbull back into the starting rotation. And I also think the thing about the salary, like I feel like at that point that's just so useless of an excuse because the Phillies hand out so many $20 million contracts to the point where you don't really have to care about salaries. But I will ask you this question. Going into the later stages of this season, you're starting to try and make your playoff pushes. The trade deadline is coming up. Do you think if the Phillies don't make this switch soon, it's going to be too late in like August or September to try and put Turnbull back into the starting rotation before the playoffs?
100%, Ryan. That's why I think there's going to be an issue down the stretch because I don't think Rob Thompson's going to do it. I don't think they want. It's the same thing as Tobias Harris. They're not going to bench him. I mean, unless it pains me to watch him perform because Turnbull has been so great. I mean, you saw in I forget what game it was. I forget what game he was pitching in because he was so bad. He pitched like 3 innings, he gave up 4 runs. Turnbull came in 3 scoreless. I mean, he's coming out of the bullpen, which is not what he normally does, not what he's prone and ready to do. And he's still competing at a high level, and he's still holding the other team scoreless. But it is what it is. But yeah, I really need to see Turnbull out there. Just give him 1 game. I just want to see him 1 game.
All right.
If he's bad, go back to Walker. I don't even care.
Okay, James, stop it with the Red Sox. They're not a contender. Enough. Anyway, moving on into some combat sports. A bit of news in boxing. What do you call it? Alexander Usyk vacating his IBF championship, and he will. I think Anthony Joshua and Dubose will fight for that belt. So it is what it is. But yeah, shame that the IBF is making him vacate his championship right after beating Tyson Fury. I mean, the heavyweight championship was unified for like a month or whatever, so that is a little dumb. And then other news, Macy Barber is out of the main event fight on July 13th, fight night card against Rose Namajunas. Cole, I think you saw me. I posted about that. I don't think that this will be much of a problem. I think that anybody would want to step in there against Rose Namajunas. I mean, while she isn't the fighter that she used to be, obviously she doesn't have that spark. She is the 6th ranked flyweight fighter right now in the women's division. So I think anybody who is looking to get in that top 10 in the UFC in that division, or anybody that is looking for a title shot and is looking to make their name off of Rose Namajunas, I think will definitely step in there and we'll take her on to try and get to Alexa Grasso and the belt. But anyway, talking about UFC Fight Night, I'll start. And Cole, if you have anything, I'll turn it over to you. I'm looking at this card here. I mean, I thought this was a very, very good card. I think that, the very first fight, Volkan getting that knockout off Johnny Walker in the very first round. What an incredible knockout. He laid him out. I picked Volkan in this fight. I think that was the pretty smart pick. I saw a lot of people taking Johnny Walker, which I did not think was the smart decision. And then also moving on to the next fight, I'm looking at, I'm going to try and pronounce it right, Shara Magomedov taking on Antonio Trockley. I mean, this really doesn't matter that much. I mean, now Shara 13-0 in his career. Not a bad fight at all. It is what it is there. Kevin Gastelum, I think everybody, Dana White even said it, that he's pretty pissed with him not being able to make weight in his in a few fights in his career, and still can't make weight here. This one went to the scorecards. I mean, it was obvious that Kelvin was going to win this fight. Well, not obvious he was going to win this fight, but I think it was pretty obvious by the end of the fight that he had the victory in check. I mean, this is just honestly ridiculous. You've been in this game for how long? You have a 19-9 career record. How are you not able to make weight on multiple different occasions? I think that was pretty stupid. Alexander Volkov getting the win over Pavlovich. So a lot of people picked Pavlovich. I picked Volkov in this fight. I thought he had a very good fight. I mean, the man was getting his hair combed in the middle of rounds, which I thought was just very, very weird, very odd. But I mean, there's a lot of memes about it, so we can always, talk about that. But yeah, a pretty good fight. Volkov laid a lot more damage on Pavlovich. I thought that his punches were a bit slow. I thought that he wasn't being as aggressive as I really wanted him to. This one went unanimous decision. I thought that this was a pretty dominant fight overall. And then Robert Whittaker, Bobby Knuckles knocking out Ikram Aliskerov. Hopefully I said the name right. In the very first round. I don't think anybody picked Ikram to win this fight. Cole, I think you as well picked Robert Whittaker to win this fight. I mean, just absolute dominance. Hit him with an uppercut that rocked him badly. So yeah, not really much to say about this fight. I feel like we're looking more towards the future than we are looking in the past, because I feel like everybody knew that Whittaker was going to win this fight. I'm not sure that if he would have faced Khamzat Chimaev, he would have won in the very first round, but he definitely would have had a very good chance against Khamzat Chimaev in that fight if it did happen. Hopefully he will be able to return. Hopefully he won't retire. And then looking at the future when it comes to the middleweight division, obviously you have Israel Adesanya challenging Duplessis at 305 for the middleweight belt. I feel like it's got to be I think everybody knows that it's got to be Whittaker versus Sean Strickland. If I'm Sean Strickland, I just kind of want to get back at the belt. Like, I don't really want to take, you're the number one contender right now, ranked in the division. So why would you really want to fight down after you just had a dominant win over Paulo Costa? So I feel like fighting down would not be in his best interest, but I feel like the fans want it. I feel like everybody wants it to see if Whittaker can get back into the title discussion. He obviously already is in the discussion because he has, history with Adesanya, and then obviously Strickland has some history with Duplessis. So yeah, number one contender fight, I feel like would be the best option where that does take place. I mean, you could possibly say maybe 307, 306 in the Sphere, though I don't know if Dana would book it in the Sphere. I feel like he is trying to assemble the greatest card of all time for the Sphere, so we're going to have to watch out for that there. But yeah, no, not really much else to say about it. Cole, anything?
Yeah, I'll just quickly go through fight night. I mean, Volkov just absolutely dominated Johnny Walker. I mean, I really don't have much to say about it at all. Same with, again, I'll try and pronounce his name right, Shara Magomedov. So, yeah, I mean, he was also dominant as well. Again, I thought he'd actually get to him a little bit quicker. I was surprised he went to round 3. I thought he'd knock him out round 2, but it is what it is. Then moving on, Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez. I mean, again, like you said, this one went to the judges, and obviously I would take Calvin, but I mean, this wasn't really a very exciting fight. I don't know.
I think everybody's just mad that he can't make weight.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing at this point? I mean, what is this? His, 30th? Almost 30th match?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and, can't make weight. That's just unacceptable at this point. Volkov versus
Pavlovich. There you go. There we go. Get a round of applause here.
Yeah. Again, like you said, Volkov. I mean, I expected him to win. Actually, I didn't think this one would go all 3 rounds, but it did, and unanimous decision. I wasn't surprised there. And then Whitaker versus Ali Serkov.
I think it's Ali Skarov. I don't know. Don't fact check me on it.
Yeah. Anyways, I had Robert Whitaker winning this one. I mean, I really had no doubt in my mind. Just dominant fight all around him with the uppercut. Just caught him lacking. With bang. Game time. All right. So yeah, that's all I got on Fight Night.
All right, moving on to UFC 303. We're at some predictions here. Now, I will be moving back to UFC 303 predictions on this YouTube channel. When I get that out, probably Friday, because I'm not, and I think I'll have WWE predictions on Saturday, because we're not going to know who's in the men's and Money in the Bank ladder matches until 10 o'clock Friday night. So we won't know that until then. So I'll probably have UFC predictions on Friday and then WWE on Saturday. I don't know if I want to stream any of these. I feel like I want to start streaming UFC pay-per-views. I don't really watch. I don't know. I feel like UFC pay-per-views that aren't worth it. I don't really buy like 301. I think that was worth it. So the next few I think are very worth it getting and watching. But anyway, I feel like what I want to do is, and Cole, I'll suggest this to you right here. Ooh, what the hell happened? Oh, you paused. Okay, never mind. I feel like I want to do like back-to-back in the same stream. I feel like I want to do WWE because I think it starts at 7 and ends at like 10. And then the UFC is starting at 10 o'clock exactly. So I might do like a same stream back-to-back sort of thing. I don't really know. I feel like that's a good idea. But yeah. Anyway, moving on, UFC 303. Now, I actually have my notes. I wrote them down on my iPad, and I took a picture of them, so I haven't lost my notes this time on the card. So, Cole, start out with the very first fight.
All right. You want me to start with the early prelims? Or?
No. I mean on the main card.
Main card? All right,
yeah.
Main card. All right, so main card, I'm going to go with Michael Page. I know, Gary has, matches him in height. I don't know. I just feel like Michael Page is going to ambush him a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Michael Page has a longer reach. I mean, I think Michael Page, he's going to come out hot. I think this fight will probably go the distance. So I'll say Michael Page split decision.
I have the exact same prediction, just for a little bit different reasons. I am going to take MVP because while Ian Gary does have quick movement as a welterweight, I think MVP is definitely faster. He has very quick hands. His ability to go in and out on Ian Gary, as Cole mentioned, he does have a longer reach in this fight, which is going to make his in and out mobility, if you will, something to watch in this fight. Now, Ian Gary's a very good fighter. There's no doubt that he definitely could win. If I was a betting man, I would take MVP, honestly, because I feel like this could go either way. And, it's either you lose a couple bucks on a fight that, honestly could go either way, or you win a few, or you win a lot off taking a low risk, high reward bet. But yeah, I feel like Ian Gary is going to go for the finish early, which is probably going to cost him and get MVP to land a couple of significant strikes. That will obviously, get the judges and the crowd rolling. I think this will go the distance. I think Ian Gary, as he gets more into his career, he is going to have to realize that, taking out guys in the first 2 rounds is not really going to work, as he's going to fight guys like MVP and, top welterweights in his division. So I feel like MVP will be able to take this fight by split decision.
I agree with you there. Moving on, Bueno Silva versus CR7. Hopefully I'm getting that right. I'm going to take Bueno Silva by submission. Just a fierce fighter. I think she can get the better of Macy in this one. I just think she's going to come out hot. I'm going to say round 2 probably, submission, or round 3. I could see it going either one. But yeah, definitely by submission. I could see it going the distance, but I'm going to stick with submission.
James, I don't. Michael Venom Page. Oh boy. Cole. I don't know if you're reading my mind or something, because I also have a second round submission to end this fight. So I obviously have Bueno Silva winning this as well. She's a lot better on the ground, and I feel like this fight will be on the ground for the most part. You know, what do you call it? Bueno Silva obviously a lot better on the ground. I did say that. She does get herself into some situations where she tries to go for the finish on the ground, but I don't think that's going to matter against Chasson. I mean, she doesn't have that much ground experience. She's not too good on the ground. She has been finished there multiple times, which leads me to believe that Bueno Silva will get the second round submission. I'm obviously not breaking this fight down too much. I want to save some analysis for my video. So anyway, moving on.
All right, Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolitz. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Yeah, Dolitz. His stand-up game in the last couple matches has not been very good. So I'm definitely going to take Anthony Smith here, and I'm going to go with either unanimous decision or TKO. But I think I'm going to go with TKO here. I'm going to say the second round.
All right. You didn't read my mind on this one, because I have Anthony Smith winning by unanimous decision. I don't think he has the ability to put out anybody anymore. Obviously, Anthony Smith, he's still a half-decent fighter. I thought he was going to get crushed by Carlos Ulberg. It's very good for him that he backed out of this fight. I'm going to take him by unanimous decision. After so many changes to this fight, I mean, this started out as Hill versus Ulberg, and now it's turned into this. I don't really understand how that's possible. Anyway, I feel like Daldiz moving up a weight class on very short notice is going to cost him. He's obviously not going to be used to the light heavyweight class. I think he's going to be wasting a little more time trying to, get onto weight instead of actually, training, with more power that he is going to have on him. I think Anthony Smith, with the experience and his ability to land kicks and, punches, will have him win this fight. This probably won't go to the ground much. This will probably be standing up. Anthony Smith, obviously, at this class is going to be the better kicker and puncher. I will take him to win by unanimous decision.
All right, Diego Lopez versus Brian Ortega. I'm going to go with Lopez here. I think Lopez's ground game really separates him from Brian Ortega. I do think this one will go the distance, and I'm not going to go with unanimous. I'm going to go with the split decision. I think Ortega will do well in standing. If he can avoid getting taken to the ground by Lopez, I think he can have more success. I'm still going to take Lopez by split decision.
I feel like with the betting line, because I was looking at the betting line earlier, I feel like they're betting way too much on Ortega. I honestly would just bet Diego Lopez here. Whether you think he's going to win or not. I feel like, Ortega's not really going to care much about this fight. Apparently he's going to move up a weight class. He's going to move up to lightweight after this fight. So why would he really care about beating Diego Lopez? It's not going to do much for him at the lightweight class. But Diego Lopez, a very good up-and-coming fighter. Obviously, he's not going to be into the title picture right after, I believe, he wins this fight by a third-round knockout. I think that, he is just as good, if not better, than Brian Ortega, standing up and on the ground. He's definitely better than him on the ground. Standing up, I think they're a bit equal, but I think that ground game will lead to Ortega getting tired in the fight, very tired in the fight, in my opinion, which I believe will lead eventually to a third-round knockout.
All right, finally, Pereira versus Prochazka. Last time I watched this fight against these guys, Prochazka was winning in the beginning. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an upset here, but nonetheless, I'm still going to take Pereira. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a first-ever submission from him. So you know what?
Whoa.
I'm going to go with the submission.
Now, I will ask you a question about that, because Pereira is bad on the ground. We know that. Do you think that here's what I believe. If you're saying that happens, the only way I think it could happen is if Yuri takes him if Yuri takes him to the ground and somehow Pereira is able to counter into a rear naked choke or guillotine.
Well, yeah. I mean, he almost got him with a guillotine last time.
That is true. That actually is true. That is true. I don't know. I feel like that was more grappling, but you are definitely right about that. I forgot that did happen in the first fight.
Yeah. So I'm just saying.
It definitely could happen. I am going to take Pereira by a second round knockout. The leg kick is going to be essential in this fight. If you look at Yuri Prochazka's last fight against Rakic, his leg was blowing up like a balloon by the end of the first round. And you look at Alex Pereira in that first fight, he was killing Yuri with those leg kicks. I think the broken toes, though, those 2 broken toes that Alex Pereira has, I think that will have some effect on to him in this fight. I don't think he will be able to land those leg kicks as effective as he should. I think Yuri will be going for the takedowns more, which I think Cole said he could get a submission off of it. It's a pot. I don't know. I doubt it happens, but it could. What do you call it? But Alex, the last time they had a fight, he was able to get out of the grappling situation with Yuri on the ground. Now, was it the most ideal way he got out of it? No, he barely slipped out, but he did get out of it. I think both fighters can be knocked out in this fight, but Alex Pereira, I mean, he is one of the best strikers pound for pound in the world. I think him and Sean O'Malley are probably the best strikers in the UFC right now. So I am going to take him by a second round knockout. I will have, once again, I'll have a video on this on Friday. All right, moving on to the, we'll go into the MLB because we were just talking about that. Cole, you have 3 trade deadline deals that need to happen, not should happen, need to happen. Talk about this.
That was just for the headline, but these would be sick if they got pulled off. I've been waiting for this. I'm pretty fired up for this. So yeah. Let's get right into it. I was working on these over the weekend. I hope you like them. All right. So my first one is with the Phillies and Luis Robert.
Yeah, that's an obvious one.
So Luis Robert, the White Sox are going to get Griff McGarry, right-hand pitching prospect, Carlos De La Cruz, who's in.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
And Starling Cava.
Okay. I see. I said this last week. I just don't want to give up a pitching prospect, but I think you also mentioned it. They're probably going to have to. I like it. I like it.
They'll have to because I frankly think they might trade away Michael Kopech.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's good. As long as you don't get rid of Painter, which I doubt they do, I think right now that's fine.
And you keep Abel.
That is true. You're very right about that. See, I don't like the De La Cruz thing because I like him, but where's he gonna fit in?
Well, yeah, and here's the other thing. I mean, if you don't have De La Cruz in there, that means you're going to have to use either Aiden Miller or Justin Crawford. I mean, we're thinking about leeway. I mean, I added in Starlin Cava. He's number 99 on MLB Pipeline. He's very young. He was born in 2005. But still, I mean, this is great value for the White Sox when they're only giving up. I mean, Lubov has not been that great this year. He's on my fantasy team. He's only batting like 190. But yeah, he definitely has power. He definitely has defense. We've seen it. I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He has been hurt for the majority of the year. But yeah, we've seen what he's done in years past, and I'm excited for what he could do to a championship contender. And I definitely think, I'm willing to give up Griff McGarry. No offense to him, but I was sad when we gave up Logan or Hoppy, but it's worked out. All right, so my next one, and feel free to chime in whenever you're ready, Ryan.
I got you.
Yankees, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Oh my gosh!
He said he didn't want to go there. I know it's in the division, but it'd be actually insane if they could get a working and able and not injured all the time first baseman who is very consistent. This is a down year for Guerrero, and he's still producing at a massive level. He's still getting RBIs. He's hitting for average somewhat. He's batting like 280 or something. And he's I wouldn't say he's hitting for power, but he's getting extra base hits nonetheless. So yeah, you're asking me, what are the Blue Jays gonna get? Oh, well, they're gonna get Spencer Jones. They're gonna get Chase Hampton and Roderick Arias. They're all top three on the Yankees. What do you call it?
Board.
Yeah, the Yankees board. I didn't include Jason Dominguez because I think that's a must keep for them because, I mean, Verdugo, I don't know what's going to happen there in left field in a couple of years. So you do want to keep that bat, especially because when you look at Giancarlo Stanton, how many years does he have left of productive baseball? Obviously, he's done much better this year, but last year he just wasn't there. And I think Jason Dominguez can come up and give him that energy. But in the meantime, you get a championship piece to a championship roster. You get rid of Rizzo. Rizzo shouldn't be starting. LeMahieu shouldn't be starting. It should be that Wade guy who they called up from AAA. Because, frankly, Rizzo's been horrible. And so is LeMahieu. Also, John Birdie getting injured didn't help him. But, anyways, I think they need Vladdy.
Two things.
Go ahead.
First, James has told you to check yourself. Second thing, I can't see this happening. It's in the division.
It is a long shot.
It's a big long shot. I feel like this is just. It's not going to happen. They're not going to trade him to a contender, especially a contender, a team that already has so much firepower. Now, you mentioned the prospects. I don't know too much about the Yankees farming system, their prospects. You would obviously know a lot more about that than I do, so I'm not going to touch that. But I will ask, you mentioned Anthony Rizzo and LeMahieu, how they shouldn't be starting. What should the Yankees do with them at the deadline? Do you dump them for nothing? Do you just not start them and keep them on your roster? What do you do?
We need to find someone else to fill that spot. And I believe they traded for J.D. Davis. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe so.
But I don't know if you want to develop him to play first. I mean, it wouldn't be a horrible idea because he's not the worst hitter in the world, a.k.a. Rizzo and LeMahieu. But I wouldn't deal LeMahieu because he is coming off of an injury. But I would deal Rizzo at the deadline 100%.
What are you dealing for?
That is pretty difficult.
I mean, his trade value is probably so low right now that you probably couldn't get anything for him.
You're probably right. I mean, the most you're getting is an awful prospect.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah.
All right. Anyway, last one.
Starting, I feel like now.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Last one.
Yep.
You're gonna like this. The Orioles get their bullpen replacement for Craig Kimbrell. I know they have Bautista, who's injured, who's out for the year. They're getting Mason Miller from the A's. Now you're asking, what are they going to trade? Well, here's what they're going to trade. They're going to trade a couple of their top three prospects. But first, they're going to trade Samuel Basallo. I know you don't know most of these guys.
Right. I don't know much about the system.
Heston Kjerstad, he played in the majors for the Orioles. So he didn't play that well. But, bruh, he's starting on this A's team. This A's team is horrible. This A's team is the worst thing I've seen in years, and they need prospects. So this would be a perfect trade for them because, I mean, until you get to that new stadium, I mean, you're not going to be paying anyone, okay? So get rid of Mason Miller, get some prospects to build around, Aledmus Diaz, and then go for also throwing in Cade Povich in the deal. He's a lefty, throws gas. What more do you want? So, yeah. You got anything on that?
I don't disagree with it. I think the A's obviously have to unload anything good they have on their team because it's not going to be used in anything good that they're going to do because they're not going to be doing anything good in this next couple of seasons. So, yeah, I don't disagree at all. Obviously, once again, I don't know much about the farming system, but what I do know is that the Orioles do have one of the best pitching rotations starting in the MLB. Obviously, they have a half-decent bullpen as well, and adding Miller to that, I think, would only improve it. I don't disagree with this at all.
Yeah.
All right. Moving.
I will say that's not the most crazy trade I have today. It's coming up later.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
buckle up.
Okay. Oh, well, we're gonna be moving. Okay. When you talk about your. Okay, I got you. So now we're going to be moving into the NBA. I will start here with my Philadelphia 76ers talk. How will they look next season? Well, I was going to say, let's try and go get Malik Monk. He signed with the Sacramento Kings for about $19 million per year. I'm good. Hanson, stop with your banner stuff. It's over. Who am I eyeing right now? I think that signing Oubre would be a very good idea. Re-signing him. Re-signing Lowry wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I mean, how many facilitating point guards that don't really score that much are on the market right now? Obviously, he wouldn't be getting considerable amount of minutes. They're looking at Miles Bridges, which I don't know. That could happen. But where would he start? Because you're saying you want to go get Paul George, Brandon Ingram, LeBron James, which now just seems like a long shot now. So I don't. Yeah.
We could get a shooting guard and have Maxey run the point from the draft. I mean, I'm looking at two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I'm looking at Rob Dillingham. I think he's going to drop to our spot.
Okay.
I'm just going to be honest. I think his lack of defense is
hold on. Save your analysis for the next topic.
All right.
Well, who's the second guy, though? Who's the second guy? I want to hear the second guy.
Jared McCain.
I was going to say that, too. But anyway, you're definitely not wrong. Do I think they'll start? I don't know. Coming off the bench, I could definitely see. No, Derek White is not the best shooting guard in the NBA. That's Anthony Edwards. Anyway.
Get ready. Because I have a great, I'll tell you the lineup later, but okay. I have a great idea.
Okay. I think now I want to get into this backup with Joel Embiid. Kyle Filipowski could fall. Do you want to take him and have him in that prominent role this first year? No. I don't think Paul Reed or Mo Bamba obviously deserve that spot. They didn't do anything with it in the playoffs last year. I think bringing back Andre Drummond would be a pretty good idea. He really doesn't have. Seems like he's going to be leaving Chicago. And I think he'll get some interest, but hopefully, I don't think the Sixers should overpay for him because they're obviously there can be any center out there that can rebound half decently, but I think that he should be somebody on the Sixers radar. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I feel like you could definitely go get him. He would fit very well. I feel like he would fix the spacing. He can obviously shoot very well, something that you want to put around Joel Embiid. I feel like those are a few guys that you definitely could go target as role players. Now getting into the superstar stuff, I think that going after LeBron James is definitely a long shot as we speak. I think that going after Klay Thompson wouldn't be the worst idea, but I feel like, or at least talking to him, I don't think you should do it, but I think you could talk to him because there will be a team out there that might not offer him the max, but is definitely going to offer him more than the Sixers would be willing to, even with the amount of cap space they have.
Yeah. I think someone's going to offer him at least $18 million.
I think he'll get more than that.
Really?
I think he'll get 20 to at least 23. I mean, it's not like he had such a bad year. He shot 39% from three.
No, I know. Yeah.
And I feel like we just kind of are just taking that one. See, that one very bad game can, really make a difference.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel like LeBron James is definitely a long shot. It definitely probably will not happen now. Obviously, with JJ Redick going back or going to the Lakers to coach, I already talked about that on my YouTube channel. And I'm not talking about it here because it pisses me off. So, yeah, I feel like LeBron is a long shot. I wanted Brandon Ingram. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Paul George is probably really the only person you can go get because I feel like Brandon Ingram, the Pelicans will probably get a better package for Brandon Ingram, probably from the Houston Rockets. The Knicks, the Magic, a team like that. I don't think the Sixers will be able to offer enough for him. The Clippers, I feel like that, it's going to be hard for Paul George to leave because obviously, he's from Los Angeles. He was handpicked by Kawhi Leonard. I feel like obviously he would fit in well with the Sixers because he's going to be a third option. And in this stage in Paul George's career, he can't be inconsistent, but he's not going to score 0 points in an elimination game like Tobias Harris did. That is something that Paul George will not do. He has been inconsistent in the playoffs. I have mentioned that from time to time. But I feel like if the Sixers can have a decent rotation that can stay healthy, now that's a pretty big if. If they can stay healthy and be consistent in the playoffs, they can make up for any inconsistencies that Paul George does have in the playoffs. But what you would trade for him, saying he opts into his $48 million player option with the Los Angeles Clippers, that is a big concern. I feel like you would have to trade, you'd obviously have to trade Batum back. You might have to trade Lowry. Now, some of these guys the Clippers might not hold on to, but they're obviously going to like the draft picks that they probably would get far into the future when guys like Paul George and Embiid possibly might not be on the team. So Paul George is probably the superstar that the Sixers are looking for. There has been a talk that they, have had declining interest in him. Where they would get a superstar from, I don't really know. I talked to Rich Hoffman a few weeks ago, back during the school year. He said that the Sixers are going to be very aggressive in getting Paul George. I'm going to take his word for it. I'm going to stick with my report that I put out. I think that they will go get Paul George. I just think it might take a little bit to see what they are going to have to trade. Cole?
I agree with what you said, like 100%. I just want to throw one name out there, see what you think.
Okay.
OG Anunoby.
Yes, I tweeted about this. See, I tweeted about this, but here's the problem with that. But here's the problem with this. He's going to be commanding about $30 million.
Yeah, well, he is great on defense as well.
He is. Injuries, I feel like, are going to be a concern, but he could be a very good third option. He's consistent. Injuries could be a problem, but he's commanding $30 million. I mean, Stephen A. Smith is going to get about $25 million from ESPN, and OG Anunoby's going to get $30 million from wherever he goes. The Sixers in the next few years, when this tax hits with Maxey and Oubre, if they keep him around for a multi-year deal, Embiid, if they re-sign him, that's going to catch up. I would love OG Anunoby, but at the right price, and that's not going to happen, though. I love the idea, though.
Yeah, I just want to throw it out there. But yeah, that's all I
got. All right. Anything about Paul George? I feel like he's the biggest.
Yeah, I think he's the guy.
He's probably the guy. I can see
them calling the phone in Miami, but.
Yeah, Butler, I forgot about that. I'll talk about him real quick. Why would you want to make it right when Jimmy Butler is getting older? He gets injured more late into the season. He's not, what he once was durability-wise. He still is a very good player, but durability-wise, he's not really what he once was. Why would you sign into a max contract? That doesn't make much sense to me. I forgot to mention him, but I just can't see that happening.
Yeah, agreed. But it would be fun.
It would be interesting to see. Anyway, what was I going to mention? We're going to move on to the next topic. Cole, you are going to be giving your top 10 NBA mock draft. Now, Cole, I'll be honest with you. When you wrote this down on the doc, I thought you were going to be giving your top 10 NBA players because there is absolutely no talent in this draft. And I'm not even making a mock draft and putting it on YouTube because my viewership would go so down. It's actually unbelievable. So, yeah, there's What?
Well, it is going on your YouTube, Ryan. So.
It is going on my YouTube, but not as it's its own separate video. So you're definitely right about that. I mean, honestly, I'm more excited about St. Joe's Prep basketball than I am about this NBA draft. The prep does look pretty good so far. Their team next year. Watch out. I think the PCL should be scared. Not just because I'm from there. It's because I think they actually have a half decent team that can compete. I feel like I don't know. I'll get into we'll get into that when it starts. But anyway, Cole, you'll also be talking about who the Sixers will be picking. You alluded to it a bit earlier, but well, you can give your analysis when the time comes. Give us your top 10 mock draft.
All right. So number one, the Hawks are up. I have two thoughts. Either they're gonna take Zachary Rissicher, bro. Hopefully I'm saying that right. All these foreign people, or Klingham. I don't know which one they're gonna choose because they did have they did have workout with Rich. I'm just gonna call him Zachary at this point. They did have a workout with Zachary last week, so I think I'm going to go with him just off recency bias. I think he's going to be that guy for them. Wizards, number 2, they're going to take Alex Sarr. I mean, dude, they need a big man. They traded away Gafford at the deadline. It's just a perfect fit at this point. Well, it's not a perfect fit because the Wizards are trash, but it's the best thing that they got. Moving on to 3, Houston Rockets are going to take Reed Shepherd. They're going to pair him with Fred VanVleet. I understand they have other young guys. They have Jalen Green. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But if you could pair him with Amen Thompson and Jalen Green, I think that'd be a good combo. Shepherd was amazing from three-point range, shot over 50%. He was actually stupid. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with him. Number 3, the Spurs are going to take Stephon Castle out of UConn. Won a national championship. He was great as a freshman. His three-pointer isn't the greatest, but that's something you need to work on in the NBA. Obviously, the three-point lines get bigger. So it is what it is. Number 5, this is where Clem goes off the board. The Pistons are going to take him. He's such an upgrade from Isaiah Stewart, man. They just need someone. I feel like they've done this every year. They had Jaden Ivey, they had Killian Hayes, they had Duran out of Memphis, and now they're getting Klingham. I think Klingham's going to be the best one. You can pair him up with. Dude, they suck, bro. Oh my god. It's actually crazy. Anyways, I just think they're going to take Klingham. I actually could see them taking Cody Williams. I will say that.
No.
Number 6, Charlotte Hornets. They're going to take Matas Buzelis from G League Ignite. I think he'd go great with Brandon Ingram, just to pair along with them. I think he has great rim protection. So yeah.
Well, saying Ingram gets traded, do you stay with this pick?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Blazers. I'm going to take Cody Williams here from Colorado. We saw what he did in the the March Madness, and I could see him wanting to play with the Thunder, but I just don't see it being realistic because I look at Cody Williams and I see Jaden McDaniels. He is just, it's literally the same person. Great defense, great offense, a great wing guy. And, you can pair him with Shaedon Sharpe and Anthony Simons. I think he'd be a good fit with the Blazers. Obviously you have Jeremy Grant as well. Moving on, 8, Spurs. I'm taking Salah Un out of France. I don't really know much about him. He played well in Paris, national basketball or something. He averaged 13 a game in only 25 minutes. So he hasn't really met with teams, or he has met with teams in the early lottery stages, not anything top 5, but 8 to 12. I think he won't like go outside of the lottery, but I don't think he'll go top 5. So I have the 8. Number 9, the Grizzlies. They're going to take Dalton Connect. I mean, he's the best player in college basketball. At 9, it's great value. Even though he's a little bit older, on the older side, I think he's going to go right into the NBA. Smooth transition. Number 10, I'm going to take Devin Carter out of Providence. I think he's great pairing alongside Keontae George. I mean, Jazz have a great young core. They can pair him with Walker Kessler as well. Obviously, Markkanen is just, really solidified. So, yeah, here's I have 3 options for the Sixers.
Okay.
I have 2 picks and 1 trade. I see them taking Jared McCain or Robert Dillingham. I think Jared McCain is great, especially with his 3-point percentage and 3-point shooting. Robert Dillingham, on the other hand, is the entire thing you want offensively, but his defense is just not there. And, when you get to the NBA, it's going to show because people are going to expose you on defense. Even, guys off the bench are, incredibly skilled offensively. So you're going to need to, keep up with those guys. I know he's young and quick. He's going to run with them. But, the technicality of it, defensively wise. And then here's my trade.
Oh, I'm gonna buckle myself in. Here we go. Not that it's gonna be bad. That's gonna be bad. I just wanna.
The second time we've traded him on draft night, Mikal Bridges.
Ooh,
He's coming back.
I knew you were gonna say it.
Yup. You were talking about Miles Bridges earlier. I'm going with the other guy, Mikal. Here's what we're trading. We're not trading any real people. We're trading the number 16 overall pick. We're trading the number 41 overall pick in this year's draft. We're trading our 2026 first rounder from either Houston, Thunder, or Clippers. We're trading the 2028 first rounder from the Clippers, and we're trading our 2029 first rounder, top 10 protected. That leaves us with $43 million in cap space. So here's what I say. We sign KCP and we sign Andre Drummond. Boom.
See, I don't really.
No,
How do I say it? I like the idea of Bridges. The only thing about it is that I'm salty that they traded him on draft night. I'm a Villanova fan. That's one thing. My grandfather and I were freaking out. He was when I tell you, I mentioned this on this podcast, and I'll say it again. When he is very passionate about something when it comes to sports, he is normally right. And he's very passionate about Michael Penix, too, so I don't know how to feel. Anyway, I knew from that moment on, I knew the Sixers made a mistake. Bridges obviously has turned himself into an all-star. Obviously, you could use him for the next few years. My only thing about this is he worth 4 first-round picks? I think that this draft pick isn't going to mean much at all because there's no talent in this draft.
I think he's worth it because when you think about it, Embiid's only got 1 year left on his contract, right?
He'll get re-signed. Don't worry.
Well, I know. I mean, you gotta win now. I mean, at some point, Embiid's gonna get tired, and I don't know when it is, and I really hope it's not soon. I think he likes Philly. I think he's gonna stay here, but if we could pair him with a weapon, not Spicer knows he's not a weapon. Mikal Bridges is a weapon. Offensively, they can use him very well. I think he'll pair great with Nick Nurse. He doesn't miss games. He doesn't get injured. I think he's phenomenal.
That is another thing, though. His durability is great.
He hasn't missed an NBA game. He hasn't missed a college game. Last time he missed a game was in high school.
I like the trade. I actually didn't. I was going to bring it up, but I didn't think. I was thinking like superstar. But I don't disagree with your trade at all. I don't think that it would be a bad idea. It's just 4 first-round picks. And if you don't win a championship, I can give you about a million scenarios about how you could end up in the gutter.
Yeah, we're ending up in the gutter because we're trading him away in the first place.
Well, if you don't win a championship and then you just you'd have to trade. I mean, and then you could if you do end up trading Embiid and Bridges, I feel like you could obviously get a lot of picks. But how much would those picks really mean? Because if they're very close to the time you traded him, how much are those picks really going to be worth? I don't know. There's many different ways you could end up in the gutter, but I'm thinking. But obviously, to think about right now, it could definitely help you compete. You would be a lot healthier, which is obviously a part of the Sixers' problem. Consistency is there, something we didn't have in Tobias Harris. I don't disagree with it, but just 4 first-round picks, obviously, you obviously
well, 2 of them are ours. So
what? What
2
is
of
it?
them are not ours. Well, they are.
Oh, you know what? That is true. We do have some picks that aren't ours. That is true. I didn't think about that.
The 2020 is from the Clippers, and the 2026 is from either the Rockets, Thunder, or Clippers, depending on,
I didn't think about that. You know what? You actually might be right. I think I might. I'd actually pull it. I'd do this.
Our only one that we have is the 2029. It's top 10 protected. So.
See, the top 10 protected. I'm not trading that because you're not guaranteed to have these guys by then. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't trade that away.
Yeah. Well. I mean.
I don't disagree with the trade at all. That's the only thing I wouldn't give up. I'd give up Oubre or something. Not Oubre. Actually, no. I'm not giving up Oubre. I'd give up something else.
Here's what our lineup would be, assuming everything goes to plan.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have Maxey at the 1. We'd have Oubre at the 2. KCP at the 3.
No.
Mikal at the 4. Joel at the 5.
No.
No, wait. Would you switch something? Or?
They're so small. That's such a small lineup.
Yeah, you're right.
Because if you look at the East, Giannis, Lopez, Adebayo, Horford, Porzingis, these guys are big and tall rebounders, and Embiid is not guaranteed to stay healthy. That's too small.
Yeah.
I don't.
But you get like you said, we still have cap space to sign Drummond, so.
I mean, yeah, I think that he come off the bench, but I'm talking about like a power forward,
yeah.
like a starting power forward.
That's where Paul George comes in.
Exactly, that's kind of my point there about him. But I don't know. I think that if they don't pull it, then it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But it is what it is. Don't you dare say Jason Tatum is the best rebounder in the East. Oh my God.
Oh no. Oh no.
No. Just no. Just no. Just no.
Stop.
That's terrible.
If you want to come on and troll, just keep it in the legion of being like a possibility.
There's a reason that you're not a moderator. I have multiple moderators. There's a reason James Hansen isn't one. It's because of stuff like this. That is terrible. That might be worse than saying Derek White should be first team All-Pro. That honestly could be worse. That's up there. All right. Anyway, moving. I'm looking at a mock draft right now, ESPN's, and they're saying Zach Edey's going to get taken by the Lakers. That would be the funniest thing ever. That would be the funniest thing ever.
Dude, imagine they take Edey and Bronny.
That would be the greatest thing. I would laugh so hard. They're gonna take Bronny, and you know it.
Yeah.
They'll trade up to number 1 just to get him. They're gonna love him so much.
Well, did you see the one guy? So I know this Bronny thing is getting out of hand with his dad and everything, right. But it's not the worst thing. It's not the worst in this draft because guess what?
Yeah.
JT Zahir from Bowling Green is averaging under a point per game, and his uncle is the owner of the Detroit Pistons.
Oh wow! So he's gonna get a job.
I don't think they're not wasting a draft pick on him, but he's gonna go undrafted and they're gonna sign to him. That's 100% gonna happen. Wow! I actually did not know that. I guarantee he goes undrafted and they sign him. I guarantee it.
Yeah, he's gonna go undrafted. The Pistons are so bad right now that even like family couldn't get you a job.
The Pistons are so bad. I wouldn't be surprised if they even drafted him.
That's true. I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
He might be better than Killian Hayes.
I don't know why they just don't play Jaden Ivey. I really love Jaden Ivey, I swear. I see him as the next John Morant, not off the court, on the court. Anyway, moving on. Ryan's rant. I actually have an honorable mention. And this has nothing to do with sports.
Wait, did you do your Mike McCarthy?
Oh my God!
Whew, almost forgot.
I am actually so dumb. Oh, thank you, Cole, for saving me. Mike McCarthy fed up with the I was getting so into the Sixers and all that I didn't even see that. Thank you, Cole. I didn't. Thank God I didn't reveal what. Thank God I didn't reveal what was happening on Ryan's rants yet. Anyway, the Dallas Cowboys. First thing, Mike McCarthy is fed up with Jerry Jones. I'm honestly not surprised because Jerry Jones takes so many shots at people in the media. It's actually ridiculous. Like at this point, I'm not even concerned about Mike McCarthy being the head coach because I think we know that the Cowboys are not going anywhere. I'm more concerned about Jerry Jones. I mean, he's saying we're going all in. Now, honestly, I feel like the way he said all in, I think people are taking it the wrong way. I feel like he said all in, like we're going to go out and sign everybody. I feel like what he meant all in, like he just meant all in on the guys that they actually have on their team, like right now. I feel like he has a different definition of all in, just kind of off the way he said it. I feel like that's kind of what he meant, but nonetheless, I digress. And I can understand why Mike McCarthy's pretty fed up with Jerry Jones. The man is, he's taking shots and all this stuff. He's not saying the right things. He's not doing the right things. He hasn't paid Dak. He hasn't paid Lamb. Hasn't paid Parsons. Nobody knows what's going on. They don't have a running back, and don't say Ezekiel Elliott's a running back because that's just going to be stupid to say. They don't have anything that's going to help them win right now. And whether Dak is on or off the team, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. You're not going to. Your salary cap's going to be in the dirt. So you might as well just sign him at this point and get it over with. I am not surprised that Mike McCarthy's fed up with Jerry Jones. I feel like at this point, if I was Mike McCarthy, I rather would have just been fired. I mean, this is honestly ridiculous. I mean, Mike McCarthy is a yes man to Jerry Jones. We all know that. But the fact that he's fed up with him, I am honestly just not surprised at all.
I'm fed up with this lineup. I'm an Eagles fan, and oh my God, I want to barf. I want to barf with how disgusting this lineup is. It's just
nothing.
Oh my God.
Their receivers, CeeDee Lamb.
3 guys.
Who's going to start? Who's going to start on their receiving lineup? CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks. Who's going to be their third? Tolbert, yeah. Turpin's and Turpin's more of a returner though.
Yeah,
we might have to this might be a whole topic just thinking about this.
And wait till you see the running back room: Zeke, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, and Royce Freeman.
There's no doubt that he was just, and the fact that he had 26 carries or the 26 most carries in the NFL behind Ramondre Stevenson and still averaged 3.5 yards per carry is actually really bad.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. He had 2 good games.
Yeah.
2 good games because the only thing they did was give him the ball.
Right.
Because
stat pad.
Their quarterback room. Oof. Luckily they got Zappy.
Right. Or no, did he leave? Wait a minute. Didn't Zappy sign somewhere else?
Oh, wait, not Zappy. My bad. Drake May.
Yeah, Drake May. I was going to say, where did he go? I actually forget. Let me look this up real quick. I'm curious. Oh, no, he still is on the Patriots. Wait a minute.
The Jags. That's probably what you're getting.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. All right. Now that we don't have anything else to cover, Ryan's rants. I have an honorable mention. Yesterday, Cole, I went to see Inside Out 2. Me, Scarlett, Kaylee, and Fats, right? And right after it ended, we have to stay for the extra scene. The extra scene was supposed to be what Riley's big dark secret was. I had to use the damn bathroom. And guess, I won't reveal the secret because I won't spoil the movie, but it pissed me off. And I had to use the bathroom. I'm mad about it. Anyway, moving on. Let's actually get into Ryan's rants. Give me the first topic.
Travis Kelce on stage at the Taylor Swift concert.
Why is everybody making a big deal out of this? Why isn't Travis Kelce training? That's the first thing. You have a three-peat to go on, and you're singing and dancing on a stage with Taylor Swift. I've had enough. This is not news. I go on sports Twitter, and that's all I see. And now I hear that there's a documentary, love story, movie sort of thing coming out in November, December about the Kansas City Chiefs. Are you absolutely insane? I'm not watching that. I know that. Are you absolutely out of your mind? No. It's not news. Put it in the music news. It's not football news. Stop. Second.
Edwin Diaz gets ejected and suspended for 10 games.
The Mets are so bad they can't even cheat right. I mean, why? At this point, why are you even trying to cheat? It's not even if you do cheat, it's not even going to get you into the playoffs. Why even cheat at this point? Now, whether he was cheating, whether he wasn't cheating, it's apparent that he was, because he's been suspended. They found something. And with these whole new baseball rules, with the umpire checking the glove and the ball and all that, there's no way that they couldn't find something. It's stupid.
There's actually a photo of it.
What is it?
There's a photo of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly ridiculous.
And I think the Mets' best player right now is Grimace.
Honestly, you're not wrong.
Number 3, Ryan Garcia's PED use.
Listen, I'm not that mad at this point with Ryan Garcia. With all that, obviously cheating is wrong. We know that. You should never cheat in professional sports. You should never, jeopardize the integrity, yada, yada, yada. We all know that as morals of people and should never cheat in anything. What I'm upset about is that they banned him for a year and took away $1 million. First thing, what does $1 million mean to Ryan Garcia? Nothing. And what does a year of boxing mean to Ryan Garcia? Newsflash, nothing. These guys fight 1 to 2 times per year, and they make so much money outside of boxing that you don't even need boxing to make you money. A year off for Ryan Garcia in boxing is not going to do him any bad at all. It just won't. The only thing it does is it messes up his legacy. But at this point, everybody's boxing legacy is messed up. You have Floyd Mayweather fighting, guys I've never even heard of. Or not guys I've never heard of, but, guys past their prime. You got Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul. Muhammad Ali went too long. I mean, you got so many guys fighting at 50-something years old that ruining your legacy is honestly not a bad thing at this point. Getting suspended for a year and getting $1 million taken away doesn't mean anything to Ryan Garcia. I bet you the Nevada State Athletic or New York State Athletic Commission was like, yeah, we really got him on this one, bud. Yeah, I guarantee you he does not care. And now he's saying he's retiring, which I don't know. He might have like a CTE problem, which I'm not going to assume, but it's kind of the same route that guys who have that sort of stuff have been taken on, and obviously he's taken blows to the head. Am I assuming? Am I saying that he has it? No, but it is definitely in that sort of behavior sort of thing. I'm not sure if you also saw Jimmy Butler and Ryan Garcia at the poker table. Butler looked like he wanted to kill him. That was something.
Something new every day.
Oh, well. Okay. Anything else? Or anything to comment on any of these? No, we're good.
Yeah,
All right. I think that will do it. And another thing I'm saying. Here we go. Here's another one. Also, Armin. Some more things about suspensions. Armin Suzuki suspended for 9 months for punching a fan in the face at UFC 300. Now, how's he going to fight Islam Makhachev? In Abu Dhabi, I suppose? I don't know. I doubt Dana White would book him while he's suspended. Hey, look at this. Julio Cesar, suspended 9 months after positive PED test. What's going on here? This just came in a second ago. Oh my lord, this is crazy,
In the
Cole.
next round, France, I guess.
I know. I'm also seeing so many. And another thing I'm seeing so much on MMA Twitter is the Gee Wee Wee's meme. Like, good God, man. I mean, trust me, I love the meme, but it's getting a lot out of hand. Like, I don't know.
I'm seeing too much Tommy John, Pablo Sandoval.
That is true. That is true. All right. Okay, that will do it for the latest session of the CR7 podcast, guys. We should be back next week. Hopefully, there will be no hiccups. If there are, you guys go follow our Twitter, which is just past that 100 followers. So a round of applause for us there. So yeah, any updates will be posted there, and we will see you later. Peace.